Hello and welcome. You're watching at this news hour with the headline. Prime Minister Abiy urged Dear viewers, once again you're watching at this news hour with the news. I am Binyam Getane. Do stay tuned. World Red Cross Day, also known as Red Crescent Day, is celebrated on May 8 every year. This date marks the birth anniversary of Henry Dunant, who is the founder of the International Committee of the Red Cross. On this year's 17th celebration, themed Be Humankind, President Sahle-Work Zewde, Superintendent of the Red Cross Society, on her part, and message noted that the day has a special meaning for Ethiopians. The President expressed that while celebrating this day, a lot is expected in addressing the man-made and natural disaster affected victims who are in need. Indicating that Ethiopia has faced complex and widened challenge, the President further noted that several lives have been claimed and multitudes have been suffered from mosquito infestation, conflict, drought and COVID-19 pandemic, which shows how big assignments are, she noted. Of the behalf of the Red Cross Society, the President herself, Sahle-Work, has honored and appreciated Ethiopians and partners and friends of Ethiopia for standing in solidarity with Ethiopia in time of trial. The World Press Freedom Day is being celebrated today. Over the past couple of years, Ethiopia has made tremendous stride in widening the space for conducive expression of free speeches and ideas. Nevertheless, the nation is also grappling with fake news and disinformation, a coordinated attack by the West and its TPLF cronies. Ethiopia is marking the day with assortment at an event here today. Our staff reporter Alula Takramariam is joining us live to shed more on this. Good morning, Alula, and could you tell us what's happening over there?
Morning, Binyam. Thank you for having me. Today is Ethiopia is celebrating the 31st World Freedom Day here in Addis Ababa in the presence of various media practitioners, university lecturers and journalists. The main objective of having celebrated the World Press Freedom Day is to commemorate. It is a kind of reminder for governments to act for ensuring press freedom, and the second one is to help share experience and knowledge among journalists, and the third objective of celebrating the media press freedom day is just like supporting the media in ensuring press freedom. Here with me I have a very prominent and renowned journalist, Amara Aragawi, and the head of Ethiopian Media Council. Let me take you back to him to explain about the event. Okay, thank you so much for your cooperation, Amara. And can you please highlight some of the objectives and what is the objective of having World Press Freedom Day?
Well, the objective is, let me give you the background. This Ethiopian Press, the World Press Freedom Day started in 1991, 31 years ago. It was done in Windhoek in Namibia. It started in Africa, and many African countries have signed and agreed to it, including Ethiopia. The idea is all governments and all media should respect freedom of the press. Freedom of the press means, if you want the public to participate in their country's issue, they have to get information about their country. To get the information, they have to get it freely without any restriction. And to make sure that the media gives this service freely, it was decided this celebration of Press Freedom Day should be celebrated May 3, always. And now it's May 9 today, but the reason is because we had too many holidays last week. We had to postpone it today, and we have celebrating it with all media houses. It's organized by Ethiopian Media Council and the UNESCO. But the very idea is to have a press freedom so that the public will have freedom to get information about their country freely without any interruption.
What should we expect from this meeting?
From this meeting, nowadays, this press freedom discussion today is media in the digital world, in the digital issue. The digital issue has got two aspects, One aspect is it's very important because people without having big televisions, radios, and other things, they can communicate, get information even from a digital equipment like computers, phones, and everything. So the reachability is too large and very important. But the other thing also we have to be careful is when we talk about press freedom, we have to have also code of conduct. For example, in Ethiopia, if you see I'm not going to blame everybody in the digital media, but there are many digital medias that they don't respect code of conduct. There is a lot of hate speech on nationalities, hate speech on religion, hate speech on political stands and everything. And this hate speech is causing, at present, if you see, deaths and fragmentations and everything. So the very idea is the media should respect freedom of the press with code of conduct, without hate speech and all this, so that you can have correct information governed by fact-checking and proving. That's the idea.
My last question goes to know that how do you reflect towards the current administration, towards the first, the press freedom? How is this leadership, the current government doing towards ensuring Press Freedom Day?
We know we will, by law, in Ethiopia we have got a law that stands for freedom of the press. For example, in our constitution, Article 19 is word by word Article 19 of the United Nations. And we have a law also access to information. We have also a law for digital media and everything. But the implementation is very difficult. It's not easy to get information. Sometimes, without actual reasons and everything, you see, media houses being harassed, some journalists being imprisoned without going to court. If they made any mistake, they have to go to court. But that's why also we have created the Ethiopian Media Council. Instead of taking journalists to court, to prison and everything, we have created a self-controlling body so that if anybody, whether the government or individuals or any citizen has got a problem, they can present their complaints to the Ethiopian Media Council, where we have an ombudsman body that are experts of judges and everything. It's not from the media, it's from the society itself gathered. So unless we respect this self-controlling issue, we shouldn't leave everything, to be judged by this and by that, So even the government itself is not getting advantage out of this, because some media houses, without fact-checking and everything, they are also discrediting the government. Some try to discredit it. So for the correct information is not being given not only to the public, it's not even also to the government. Therefore, there's a lot of confusion now. Therefore, freedom of the press is very important, with fact-checking, with code of conduct.
Thank you so much for your cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Press Freedom is also being celebrated in the presence of international organizations like the UNESCO Addis Ababa office and the Ethiopian Media Council, and a lot of questions are being raised towards ensuring press freedom and expression of ideas. And as we can see or understand from the questions of journalists raised, there is a lot to be done to ensure the freedom of expression in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, we will keep you updated in our evening news.
Dear viewers, that was our staff reporter Arula Takla Mariam updating us on the Press Day event. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed stated that summer wheat production has been progressing well in the country. The government of Ethiopia has been working to enhance wheat import substitution by intensifying the domestic wheat production in various parts of the country. Currently, Ethiopia is undertaking the cultivation of summer wheat production on over 400,000 hectares of land across the country, according to the Ministry of Agriculture. The Premier pointed out the ongoing summer wheat production activity across the nation has been progressing well. Food security challenge can gradually be addressed through summer wheat production together with urban agriculture endeavor, he pointed out. The land used for summer wheat production increased from 118,000 hectares last year to over 400,000 hectares this year, and 60 million quintals of wheat is expected to be harvested from that. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has presided over the launching event for the late Ethiopian Produce Movement. The movement, as part of the 10-year development plan for the industry sector, intends to address the challenge that producers at all levels confront during the manufacturing process. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed urged industries to work tirelessly, stating that the industry requires years of hard work. Johannes Fantaun tells us more.
Let Ethiopia Produce is an initiative launched for 10 consecutive years with the aim of creating a platform for the manufacturing industry where it can strengthen its capacity and to portray its potential. The Prime Minister, who was present at the launch of the movement, said the ongoing efforts to transform the agricultural sector should be repeated in the industrial sector.
ከሚቀጥለው ዓመት ጀምሮ ስንዴ ኤክስፖርት ለማድረግ እየሰራን እንገኛለን።
We are working to export wheat from next year. We want to achieve this result in the industry as well. Of course we will. Industry is not as simple as other sectors. It is challenging in a arduous field. The industry is exhausting for many years, but it is lucrative in a few years. It will not succeed just because the government has a policy or says its supporters. Listing only the problems in the sector doesn't solve the problem. Investors in the industry need to work together to solve this problem. There are many problems in our country. We can ensure prosperity by working together and working hard.
Noting that the industry is facing many challenges, the Prime Minister stressed the need for joint efforts to overcome these challenges.
Industrials የሆናችሁ ሰዎች ብዙ አመት መድከም ብዙ አመት መልፋትና
The industrial sector doesn't have short-term results. Government officials need to be well informed about the sector, so we have not been involved enough. We can achieve results if we work together in the spirit of recognizing that the sector is a challenge for both the investor and the government.
መሆኑን ተገንዝበን በትብብር መንፈስ ብንሰራ ውጤት ልናመጣ እንችላለን።
According to the Minister of Industry Mlaku Alabel, the supply of inputs and other problems are major obstacles to the success of the sector.
የግብአት አቅርቦት በጥራትና በአቅርቦት ትስስር በኩል ያለው ችግር
Studies have shown that supply and quality constraints account for 50% of the problems in the manufacturing sector. There are reports of access to finance, foreign exchange supply, trained manpower management and skills, and workplace supply problems.
በሁሉም መድረኮች በስፋት የተነሱ ናቸው።
By alleviating these and other problems, the Minister said it's planned to double the share of production by 2022.
2022 እንደርስበታለን ያለውን 17.2 የማኑፋክቸሪንግ ኢንዱስትሪ የሚኖረው የጂዲፒ ድርሻ ማሳካት እንችላለን።
By 2022 we will achieve 17.2% of the industrial sector, which we expect to achieve in the industry. We will create jobs for 5 million citizens. We can increase industrial productivity from the current 50% to 85%. We can increase the current 30% market share of the manufacturing sector to 60%.
ወደ 60% ማድረስ የሚቻልበት ሁኔታ ይኖራል።
During the event, 81 micro, small, medium and large-scale industrial enterprises were recognized for their outstanding performance in the sector.
Dear viewers, you're still watching at this news hour with me, Biniam Getane. Now in other news. Diaspora urged to make an organized efforts in the nation building process. A panel discussion on the role of diaspora for nation building was held in Jijjiga town. Shagao Yamato has compiled the following account.
A panel discussion aimed at creating awareness on the role of diaspora for nation building, which is a component of Eat to Eat Great Ethiopian Homecoming, was held in Jijjiga town. The discussion is staged by the Ethiopian Diaspora Service Somali Regional Industry and Investment Office and the Jijjiga University. The discussion is also designed to boost the crucial roles played by the diaspora in the previous years. Dr. Hussein Qasim, Chief of Cabinet of Somali Regional State, underscored that if the participation of the diaspora in the nation building process is led in an organized way, it will bring a fruitful result.
The
role of diaspora is crucial in one country. This will be practical when the diaspora is led in an organized way.
The Ethiopian Diaspora Service Deputy Director Dr. Mohammed Idris stated that the role of the discussion is significant to make awareness on the level of nation building process and to speed up the role of diaspora for the country, adding that the diaspora played a crucial role in various ways for the country in the past 2 and 3 years.
The diaspora, particularly in the past 2 and 3 years, exhibited an excellent unity in arrangement, neglecting divisive agendas. It also prioritized the huge agendas that helped to keep the country's unity. As you remember, in the past 1 year or so, the diaspora could hold rallies in protesting for intervention on Ethiopia in public diplomacy in 40 countries in a single day. The diaspora was also creating awareness on nation-building process for over 600 senators and congressmen in 6 months alone.
President of Jijjiga University, Dr. Bashir Abdullahi, for his part, stated that in order to help participate the diaspora in the nation-building process, national consensus is so critical, adding that the university will conduct research that could promote nation-building.
In the university,
as a higher institution, we will conduct more studies on nation-building process than before. We will contribute various research findings, and a lot is expected from us in this regard.
A discussion is held on different research findings by diasporas, intellectuals, and senior government officials.
That was Shagao Yamato for the report. A diplomatic team has been to the Lalibela World Heritage Site over the weekend to witness the Nol Mercy there in recent time for travelers from across the world. This is the first of its kind in visiting team to Lalibela after the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and the aggressor of the TPLF militants to the region. The diplomat says it is time for government to revisit their travel ban to Ethiopia. Daniel Kassaun has attended and compiled the following story.
Lots of appreciation and enthusiasm from the visiting diplomatic team who are on the spot to witness the normalcy of the situations in Lalibela, where the 11 monolithic rock-hewn churches existed for 900 years.
Lalibela is not only the world heritage, but it's a living heritage.
We see here churches unique in the world.
For many of us travelling here, Lalibela has been on our dream travel list.
Ethiopia is blessed to have so many of these sites.
The visiting team is comprised from UNESCO, US Embassy, Australia, and from New Zealand Embassy, among others.
And I would like to say that modern travelers today could also receive inspiration from these magnificent churches. And we'd like to see more of them come. Excellent hospitality.
Embassies are reducing the security level and then security level down. I'm sure this is a good time for Ethiopia to become a tourist destination.
6 months ago, if someone had said, come to Lalibela, we would have said, no way. But this is such a promising moment. And we really hope and wish and pray that this is a portent for what is to come, that you're going to see many more visitors to come.
The Ethiopian officials are also looking for the return of influx of tourists to this magnificent site from across all over the world, as it was happening before the past 2 years.
And we need to call also the international community and Ethiopian people at the same time to come and visit Lalibela Rokion churches. They need to rely trust on the place. Now it is safe. There is a flight which has been resumed since Christmas, and also the hotel partly are opened and waiting for guests. The tourist guides have been trained by our ministry, by the tourism minister, on ethics, on communication, and on psychology. So they are now fully ready to welcome tourists.
The actual reality in the ground is that this is a peaceful place. Still, tourists can come and visit this holy place without any problem, and the society is cooperative actually. Today's occurrence itself is one witness that any tourist from any corner of the world can come and then visit Lalibela and then return back home or back to Addis without any problem.
The Lalibela Rokion churches found here are built in the 13th century. The United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organizations, UNESCO, registered them as one of the best heritage sites among the 12 ones registered for the first time by UNESCO in 1978. The diplomatic team visiting here recommends countries who banned their citizens to travel to Ethiopia need to reconsider their imposition because many situations are improved here. Reporting for ETV, Daniel Kasahon, Lalibela.
Dear viewers, that was Daniel Kasahon for the report. Moving on, another story. Ethiopian and Eritrean diaspora will hold a rally on May 9, 2022 in Maryland with a view to opposing HR 600 bill, thereby avoiding sanctions being imposed on Ethiopian and Eritrean, so disclosed Ethiopian American Development Council. As learned from the council, as the bill is in the hands of one person in Maryland, Congressman Steny Hoyer, the rally is compulsory in deciding whether the person is going to vote for it or not. The Maryland Congressman has crucial impacts on making the bill dysfunctional or approved. This is why the rally is going to be held in Maryland, USA. The council also urged everyone to actively participate in the rally organized to break the silence and to say #NoMore. It is to be recalled that HR 600 bill was introduced by 3 American congressmen, Mr. Malowski, Mr. Mix, and Mr. Cowell, on February 4, 2022. Likewise, the TPLF is trying to create a millions-persons army and recruit again from the enormously depleted Tigrayan population to wage war, a foreign journalist and observer of northern Ethiopian conflicts disclosed. Scope Independent news editor-in-chief Alistair Thompson, who has recently been in Ethiopia and visited the war-torn areas of the northern part of the country, told the Ethiopian news agency that the intention of the TPLF is to wage another war. He also cited Williams Davison, a sympathizer for the TPLF, as announcing in crisis group news that 2 Antonov planes for armies that could have contained weapons from Sudan have flown into Shire airport in Tigray. Speaking about his visit to the war-torn areas, particularly the Walqait Agarit Alamt areas, Thompson shared his horrific memories about the mass graves and war crimes committed by TPLF during the past decades. In this regard, he stressed the need for further investigation in Walqait Agadi and Alamt areas by visiting genocide researchers around the world. The journalist and observer finally urged the government to provide sufficient resources to enable the investigation to continue. Another domain, Ethiopia needs to enrich and promote its enormous cultural values to ensure sustainable tourism development, it was indicated. An exhibition and cultural festival was held in Hararghe Regional State on the occasion of Shawwal Eid. The 1443rd Shawwal Eid festival marked colorfully in a historic city of Harar. Goshu Meleso has more on this.
Shawwal Eid is a unique religious festival held especially in and around Harar. It is also a vibrant festival in addition to Islamic holidays that are evidently celebrated. Celebrated on the 8th day of Shawwal month, that comes after Ramadan in Islamic calendar, Shawwal Eid among the Harar is celebrated on the sense of providing chances for women to compensate for their 6 days breakthrough the fasting season and celebrate their Eid with the entire community as the cultural feat. The 1443rd Shawwal Eid festival has been marked colorfully in various assortments in the historic city of Harar. An exhibition and cultural festival was held in Harare Regional State on the occasion of Shawwal Eid. Celebrants from neighboring regions of Harare presented cultural dancing upon the celebration of Shawwal Eid. Participants of the festival said the exhibition helps regions to introduce each other and promote cultural integration.
If everyone preserves his custom, culture and history, we can realize Ethiopia we want and build a strong nation, because each custom and culture has its own contribution for tourist attraction. Particularly, the new generation should preserve cultural values and heritages. These cultural values can build tourism and investment. First and foremost, this festival enhances unity. Second, beyond its touristic value, the festival promotes cultural diversity and identity of nations and nationality.
This festival helped us to introduce each other. In the festival, there are participants from Oromia, Amhara, Somali, Tredua, and among others. We're exchanging cultural views and experience from the participants. It's wonderful.